There are downright apocalyptic images coming out of Australia right now as the country's battling hundreds of fires that have burned across the country for months now. The fires are currently consuming an area the size of West Virginia. At least 17 people have been killed, 28 people are missing, thousands of people have had to be evacuated. More than 1,000 homes and buildings have been lost. And this all comes amid a record drought. Some areas in Australia are receiving their lowest levels of rainfall since 1902. This past year, 2019, was the hottest and driest year on record for the entire country. This past month, December, as one of the two hottest months in Australia ever. December also included the country's hottest day on record, coming in at 107.4 degrees. Ecologists from the University of Sydney estimate that nearly 500 million animals have died, including a significant portion of the koala population. The air pollution being thrown off by these fires is so bad it's made its way to Sydney, whereas of last month, the level of particles in the air are about the equivalent of 37 cigarettes being smoked in a day if you're outside. As we go into 2020 and this campaign, there is talk about the U.S. reclaiming leadership in the climate battle globally. And people talk about the plans, and the critics stroke their chins and pretend to be very concerned about the costs of it all. The costs of completely eliminating fossil fuel use in the next decade or two. But those people never talk about the cost of doing nothing. This, what you're seeing, this is the cost of the status quo. This is the cost of nothing. All this destruction, this disruption and death, this is what the status quo looks like. And it's only going to get more common. And the cost to prevent the worst that our future may hold, well, that's a drop in the bucket compared to the other option. Let 2020 be the year the world finally got its act together. Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.